Split Second seems to be the game that every man should have in his collection. It has a lot of great looking cars, enough explosions to make your average 14-year-old change his pants every 5 minutes, and plenty of destruction to even make the American war machine jealous. Yes, BlackRock Studios is aiming for a game filled with action, and that's what every man on the planet wants, now isn't it? This release is built around racing, crashing your opponents and creating shortcuts so you can deviously win the race. The racing aspect of Split Second seems to be very dumbed down. Even though the game tells you cars are very much different, in the races they're as good as the same. I could keep up with the fastest cars while driving a truck. This is a feature to keep the game exciting, but they're just taking it too far. The AI has been programmed so that even if you're in front, the other racers immediately start driving faster and catch up with you in no time. Even if you're driving perfect laps, they'll still get closer. The overall handling of the cars can be compared to trying to control a derailed train. Cornering is about as easy as flying a jumbo jet without any practice, and at best you're screaming in horror throughout every corner because you know you're hitting that wall that's coming at you at a god-awful speed. If you've been paying attention to the background, you may have noticed that this game looks incredibly exciting, with huge explosions happening everywhere and all of the time. In reality, however, this game is very different. Many of the power play events are recycled from other tracks and are far from surprising after lap 2. Some tracks are even boring. I was driving up front for 3 laps, the only form of excitement was a bee terrorising my room, and right before the finish line my car got crushed by a bulldozer, so I ended up in last place. Hardly the excitement I was hoping for. Smashing an opponent's car can be surprisingly rewarding, however, as this is taking payback to a whole new level, but sometimes the camera decides that you've seen enough of the road ahead and zooms in on the crash. This obviously results in your car hugging the nearest wall. On the other hand, the big power plays that make you take a new course on the track are very spectacular. It can go from exploding cranes to exploding aircraft carriers, exploding towers and even exploding planes. Did I say that they explode? When it comes to graphics, this game looks incredibly nice, but that is something most won't notice because we're all frantically looking at the few meters in front of our car hoping that nothing will explode in our face. When you do decide to turn the race into a sightseeing tour, you're blessed with stunning views and a huge crash dragging you back into reality. While the crashes look nice, I can't help but feel that something is wrong. I can hit a wall doing 100 mph and drive on, while a barrel roll exploding several yards behind me can turn me into a human torch. Even the camera seems to be having problems. It is constantly shaking like hell by a person having a seizure. I understand that this camera bobbing is there to add to the immersion, but when I'm drifting I have to tilt my head so it doesn't look like my car is driving on a wall. While you barely hear anything because of the explosions, it must be said that this game sounds very nice. All of the sound effects fit in perfectly and the music never annoys or distracts. The cars, however, are rather quiet and not that satisfying. When playing an over-the-top explosions all over the place game, I want my cars to scream and roar. Right now, some cars sound like shy narcoleptic goats. I have also performed extensive research into what attracts the modern gamer to the games they buy. One of the things that kept coming up was that the game had to be long and should be able to grasp your attention every second of the way. Although Split Second is long-ish, I can't help but give it an F on attention grabbing. After Explosion 374, you just aren't that surprised anymore. Gamers also appreciate replayability, and Split Second sort of gives you that. You can play all the tracks again and blow the same stuff up, but turning off your computer and playing with yourself seems much more innovating and less repetitive for some reason. Online play is also a big thing in the gamerland, and Split Second offers what you expect it to. Explosions, cars, and more explosions. So, if you like explosions you'll love this game, but there's no guarantee you will like this piece of software even if you're a big racing fan. Split Second gives you what it says it will, big crashes that will ruin a perfect race in a split second. This makes me believe that races are being won because of luck and not because of skill. The game is also advertised as serious racing, but the big Disney logo that pops up every time I start it, and the overkill on things blowing up desperately trying to make me give a shit, just makes me think this is for 12-year-olds that think this is the best video game in the history of mankind. So, if you're looking for some fun without depth, this is your game. If you want something competitive where you can micromanage everything, keep on looking.
We'll be right back.